teams have already qualified for top 4 at the moment. They're just competing for seeding. So let's see what they do here and decide to bring out in game number 1 on NAGRAND Arena.
This series is interesting to me for a lot of different reasons, but I feel like one thing is I feel like OTK, they need to kind of make a statement here. If they can beat Golden Guardians, then I think at that top 4, it becomes really interesting for them where, you know, they can beat Golden Guardians can beat Method NA, and we have a bit of a, you know, not a triangle since there's 4 teams, a bit of a square going on, I guess. But if OTK loses this, that means they lost to every other team in the top 4, which I think would be kind of a disaster for them. But we'll see. They're going to be locking in the Windwalker Death Knight Paladin, and Golden Guardians, they are going to be locking in their Shadow Priest Rogue Shaman. I feel like this is a matchup we've seen between these two teams for years at this point.
I also believe that if OTK wins this, it would put them in 3rd place, and it would put Golden Guardians in 4th, and you don't want to be in 4th. So, and we're going to get some confirmation on that stuff later as well, but right now, it's going to be all about Whiskey here. We got both teams leading here with their mains, like in the good olden days here. You got Peekaboo already down a trinket, drops the blind right there. Sea-Doo's going to use that Blessing of Protection to get out of it. Trill now getting hexed, but he gets dispelled. There's a smoke bomb now onto Trill. Trill's going to trinket, trade out the Touch of Karma. With the Serenity and the Zwen here, Whiskey needs to be very careful. This Trill has a lot of damage available here. After this Fist of Fury, he's going to have increased crit chance as well here with his Rising Sun Kick. Whiskey realizing that, going to respect the damage, trade out the Dispersion there while Hamsters is in that blinding light.
All right, let's see if they can get some counter pressure. That first assault was pretty devastating. The damage isn't going anywhere either. Hamsters is trying to recover. It's costing quite a bit of mana just to maintain WizK at this point. Here comes the stun lock combo from the Golden Guardians. What can they get done? Sea-Doo has to trinket and trade out the sacrifice onto Trill. A vital push here by the Golden Guardians, but now they're gripped in by Mez for a triple. Into another triple, into an, oh no! OTK take game 1.
I mean, honestly, a beautiful setup there by the side of OTK. You can see just how happy Sea-Doo is. The consistent setups coming in. Honestly, Trill, with his Serenity and his Zwen, that first push basically got every single cooldown that the Golden Guardians had available, and that is a great start for OTK.
You see Sea-Doo's like a little victory, like let's go or whatever. I'm not sure exactly what he said, but definitely pumped for game number 1, that victory on Golden Guardians. Very quick as well, Zico.
Yeah, they pretty much won the game in like 2 setups, so definitely, in 3 setups. They had 1 setup on Peekaboo, then they had this setup here where they got the Dispersion, and then in the next setup they straight up won the game, so definitely good start here for OTK. And I gotta be honest, their Windwalker DK Paladin, it's been looking so good lately. I don't know if they've just been practicing more or like what's been going on, but it really feels like they've been doing some great stuff. And here, this was a good push here onto Trill as well. They hex Trill to make him dispel, and then they get a Mind Games onto Trill there. So Sea-Doo had to trade out the Sacrifice. Then they get, of course, a triple here. Absturge with no Trinket right there, not able to get out the Trinket Spirit Link in that exchange there, and nobody else had Trinkets. So yeah, domination there from OTK, and Lord Maz with 2 killing blows from those snowballs.
Oh man, okay, Golden Guardians. Let's see what they do here as we do head into game number 2. Obviously, they're going to be looking to tie things up. That's kind of their classic composition that we did see them play in game number 1, as well as OTK. We didn't see them play it for a while, that Windwalker DK, but they've been bringing it out lately in the circuit, doing very well, tremendously well on it, I would say. And then Golden Guardians as well, that Rogue Shadow Priest has been something that they've been doing quite a bit. So it's kind of the matchup we may have expected from them, and they may have expected it from each other. But do we expect them to switch things up for game number 2, Ven?
I feel like OTK, they're going to be confident to lock in this composition, so I do expect we just see Windwalker DK for the most part, unless Golden Guardians pick something. But for the blind pick, OTK for sure, Windwalker Death Knight, and Golden Guardians, now they have a few options. We could see them bring in the BM Hunter with the Retribution Paladin. Might be a good option. Honestly, RPS might not be that bad of an option. I feel like Golden Guardians, they got caught off guard by that first Serenity, and they had to trade everything. I mean, basically, in the first setup, if all 3 members trade out their trinket, you basically lose the game, because in the second setup, unless you have Dispersion, you don't have an answer for the burst damage that's incoming. So OTK was able to basically ride momentum from the first lag sweep, to the second leg sweep, get every single defensive cooldown, and then just win in that one stun lock combo. And I feel like if Golden Guardians, they clean up their play or maybe react to the situation differently, they still have a chance in this particular matchup.
Okay, well, we'll see if we do see that second matchup soon. It's going to be their map choice as well. And like Ben already mentions, it's OTK's blind pick in this draft. So we'll see what they do decide to do. But I mean, right now, it's certainly not a way that you want to start off in a series like that. Like I already mentioned, they are still top 4, but they definitely want to try and get as good of a placings and seedings heading into the North American finals as they can. So they don't have top 4 on the line, but there is still a great amount of pressure in this series. And of course, you want to beat OTK and Golden Guardians. I mean, both of these teams very, very well respected. So we've seen DALARAN Series as the map, Windwalker DK. We're seeing OTK stick with now Golden Guardians. 2 minutes left, Zico, for them to pick their comp. What would you like to see in this situation now that we've seen the map?
I mean, they've had to expect that. So maybe Shadow Priest Rogue again from Golden Guardians, the same matchup. But I don't know. The map, though, doesn't make that much sense. I guess they want to shut down Sea-Doo's drinking capabilities. I don't know. I think Shadow Priest Rogue, try it out one more time, see how it goes. And then, because the problem with bringing in Jelly Beans and the BM Hunter is that the snowballs all of a sudden are going to have more targets to bounce to. So it's going to bring you more offense, but also you're going to be in a situation where randomly the pet might die to cleave damage, or randomly Jelly Beans might die, or somebody else might die because of the pet. So you have to be very, very careful with how you position the pet, and if you're attacking Trill with it and they're doing a setup and they're going to be in the setup. So it's can be tricky to bring in a BM Hunter here. So that's why. So currently OTK is 4-2 and Golden Guardians is 5-1, I believe. Right?
Sounds
that's
right.
what my standings.
But I have
that
that
I'm
as well,
looking at
yeah.
have.
Yeah. So if OTK wins, that's going to put them on 5-2 and Golden Guardians on 5-2. And since they won the head-to-head, it should put OTK in 3rd place, Golden Guardians in 4th place. And because C9 beat Method NA in head-to-head, then C9 should be 1st place. And I'm pretty sure if you're either of these teams, you don't want to play against C9. Well, I guess Golden Guardians would have a better shot in C9, but still, you definitely don't want to be in that 4th place
I think
position.
it's also more prize.
Yeah, it's more prize for sure as well.
So it's not like this is, I feel like some people are thinking that this match might not, it's just for bragging rights, but I think this is like a 3rd, 4th battle. If OTK can get a 3-0 and grab 3rd place from Golden Guardians, that means they get more money and they avoid fighting Cloud9, which is their hardest team in my mind, or at least I think it's their hardest team overall. So this is actually a very important series for OTK, not only to just bump up their prize, but to also avoid their hardest competition.
Yeah. So obviously they're still going to be trying their hardest regardless of their placement. This is still a very important matchup no matter which side you're on the team or in the chat. You still definitely want to be rooting for your team here because this series still is very much got stuff on the line as we have discussed. OTK, Golden Guardians, OTK already up 1-0, but we are going to be going to DALARAN Sewers. We did see OTK win that first game. So as we head into this map, what do we feel like that's going to change at all? Because it is quite a bit smaller map. They didn't choose Hook Point though, Ven. But what is Golden Guardians going to try to do now that we've changed the size that they have to maneuver around here?
Like I said, I feel like for Golden Guardians, it's just all about when Zwen's up, Serenity's up, that's when you really have to respect and trade. I feel like you have to trade almost early and just make sure you don't overlap. If someone doesn't have a trinket for the second setup, if all 3 members have used their trinket of Golden Guardians, they're going to lose the game. So they need a trinket for every single setup that comes in. And if they overlap, that's when OTK is going to be able to win in a fashion that we saw on the Grand Arena. So Golden Guardians, they just need to clean up their defensive play a little bit. Offense looks solid. They were getting the cooldowns when they needed to. They just need to not overlap their defensives, and that's going to be their ticket to actually winning.
Do you guys feel like, I mean, I know that we already talked about like it's seeding matters, of course, and they don't really want to be playing each other, but I do wonder if they play like a little bit more aggressively since they don't have getting knocked out of the top 4 sort of in the back of their minds. Do you think that would change the way that they play it all, Zico, or are they going to still be playing this matchup as if it was still top 4 on the line?
Well, I think they have to play every matchup like it's top four on the line because for them, the big goal is to do well in the finals, right? And you're laying down the groundwork for that right now. So you got to do well, you got to perform, you got to make sure that you're taking every game, taking it at full value, and you can't disrespect your opponents or anything like that. So playing overly aggressive and stuff like that. I don't think that's the case. I think it's more kind of what we were talking about before. Maybe Golden Guardian played a little too aggressive, and they, just kind of messed up their trinket rotation defensively. I really don't know what Hamsters actually trinketed, because it looked fine when Peekaboo was down a trinket and WizKid was down a trinket, but when Hamsters was down his trinket as well, usually you just trinket Spirit Link. So he trinketed something, and then they did the setup. So I think that's where everything kind of fell apart for them. So for them, they just gotta shape up and look at the next match. I think it's very likely that we see the same comps like all games. So
throughout
I
this
don't.
series.
Yeah, so I don't think losing the blind. I mean, it's gonna be important, but I don't think it's as important as in some of our other matchups.
Well, we can take a look at Peekaboo's current stats. I mean, these are pretty high: 78% play rate, 75% interrupt rate as well, and then obviously, mostly a rogue player, as that is definitely what he's known for. We're doing him dirty with that Windwalker stat though at 0%. So
the
sorry,
numbers don't
Peekaboo.
lie, okay?
That's true. But yeah, we can see he, about half the time that we do see him on that rogue, he's going to be winning. And now we can see OTK Mez's play rate a little bit higher interrupt rate, I think, as well. But it's about the same stats on Frost Death Knight and Unholy Death Knight, kind of at that 50% mark. Obviously, Unholy a little bit lower, but he has been playing the Frost DK, I think, mostly this season. I feel like the Unholy Death Knight games have probably only been like three or four games, something like that. Very small number.
Yeah, I don't think he's played too much on Holy DK. I feel like their success has been for sure at the back of that Frost DK. It's really been about Mez setting everyone up with the blinds and the triple dragons that he keeps hitting, and it's kind of been their ticket to form for OTK, because they had the pretty weak cup performance. It was an okay cup performance, but I feel like their circuit performance has been actually really good.
Yeah, I feel like honestly both of these teams have completely stepped it up here in the circuit with OTK and Golden Guardians. They're coming back to, I kind of mentioned it before the beginning of the series, they're kind of coming back to those classic comps that they were sort of known for, and they found their early rise in success, and they're kind of bringing them out once again in the circuit, getting that strong and consistent showing, and also the stats as we can see here on our screen. But we can see both of these teams have a very wide range of compositions. Like, they do have, of course, their bread and butter comps, but they also are very versatile teams, which can always be very good and very handy in situations such as these. And we'll see if they also apply that in the North American finals and see if these two teams do end up facing each other again. But it's game number 2. Let's see if OTK puts themselves on match point, but Golden Guardians looking to tie things up on DALARAN.
I mean, OTK, their Windwalker Death Knight looks like, the good old times when we saw their Windwalker Death Knight just smashing players. I think it was Absturge. He ended up making a video about dying in stuns to Windwalker DK in the past. So this is a comp that's really had Golden Guardians' number for years over the span of multiple expansions, and now they're fighting OTK at what appears to be full power. This is going to be very difficult for them to overcome. They're going to begin their first assault onto Trill, already netting the diffuse magic from the Windwalker Monk as an important cooldown, as well as a blessing of protection. Now they're trying to retreat and keep pressure up at the same time. WizKid pre-fading, trying to Door of Shadows away from the slappy hands of Mez, but he's not able to escape from it. There's still a ton of damage trucking through here. Seedu caught into a fear, Trill into the kidney shot. Trill trinkets out of the smoke bomb, portaling back to Seedu to begin to recover. However, that wasn't a Vendetta, still a big threat. Here comes the triple leg sweep. There's the snowball bouncing between Absturge and WizKid. WizKid going to trade dispersion. This time around, the Golden Guardians don't use any medallions, so that will allow them to escape in the future setup. That was really well done by the Golden Guardians, but Swen is still out. Absturge needs to try and deal with that. He's trying to fish for some hexes, not finding them. Trill in a kidney shot, stalling the damage. Here's the Vendetta. Seedu bops it off. to try and recover. Triple Dragon and a counter assault by Mez. Damage coming in from Sea-Doo off to the
Serenity
side as well on that Holy Paladin. Big damage coming in onto WizK. Is he going to be able to survive? They drop the Spirit Link Totem and Ascendance to try and recover from the collateral re-linked damage. Hamsters is pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, this Serenity is absolutely devastating, but WizK held onto his trinket, so this next leg sweep that's incoming, double blinding light actually, Trill's in a little bit of trouble trying to reconnect to target. Let's see, he's going to be back on top of WizK. WizK, of course, with his Greater Fade, going to be feeling relatively safe. Potentially, we'll see a Hammer of Justice on Absurge. WizK just going to be trading out the Greater Fade. Beautiful ring of peace there by Trill, knocking WizK away from Absurge, making it difficult for him to actually connect those heals, and that Earthen Wall Totem finally drops down. Here's going to come the leg sweep. Can he find it? Trill needs to, but he gets caught into a stun. Unfortunately, not able to find the double leg sweep, the triple leg sweep. Great job there by Peekaboo, denying OTK that setup.
If Peekaboo can get a stun on Trill before he can get that triple, it's going to shut down the entire setup here. Trill actually dropping quite low there. Save Out Light's going to proc. They hex Trill right there, and now they're going for the mind games here potentially on the Dispel. So very nice stuff here. That Diffuse Magic is not going to fade Trill in a full kidney shot here. Dangerous situation. Sea-Doo's in a silence. Trill, he's going to use everything up for himself. That human racial, and here comes the grip. There's a double leg sweep. WizK going to trink it out and trade that fade right there. That Snowball is going to stop bouncing, but WizK taking massive damage. He has no fade. He has no dispersion. He's on 1% HP. Absurge trades out the Spirit Link, but there's a triple dragon. And WizK is on 1% HP. 2 seconds left on the fade. Can he get it off? He barely manages to survive there.
The blind.
Because of the defensive blind from Peekaboo, saving the day, but he's not out of the woods yet. Still has to activate that fade now. Absurge manages to pick him up, but that was a great defensive blind there by Peekaboo, saving the day. And now here comes the pressure from Peekaboo. The Turbo Fist gets the Hex right there, just interrupted by Absurge. Absurge just playing that spec that lets him spam hexes here. Very, very nicely done for him. Absurge now in a full blinding light. Here comes the Serenity. Immediate dispersion here from WizK. Peekaboo channeling out the Fleshcraft, but one Rising Sun Kick erases it. And here comes another kidney shot now onto Trill. Double Fear onto Sea-Doo and Mez. Full Hex here potentially onto Sea-Doo's trinket, but he sacks it and saves Trill. And now WizK once again on the back foot.
You know, there's not much left here for the Golden Guardian. Sea-Doo still has Divine Shield. Let's see how they decide to navigate this. They're right at the finish line. Sea-Doo going to Divine Shield and heal up Trill in the immediate future and just stay on target. Then he needs to heal through a ton of damage, though. This is Vendetta coming out from Peekaboo. Peekaboo could easily take out Trill here. Sea-Doo caught into a full Hex by Absurge. Expertly landed, and Trill is stunned up, and he can go nowhere. Golden Guardians with nothing left. Pull it off in game 2.
These two teams are so evenly matched, back and forth. Honestly, the highlight of that game for me was Peekaboo and his defensive blind. Trill had Trinket available for the blind, but if he had Trinketed, he was going to get... Oh, he didn't. Oh, it was very close. Well, it was just a few seconds left. He had the kidney shot available anyways, so Peekaboo gets the full blind into the full kidney shot, and unfortunately, Trill's not able to break it. And as a result, there's going to be no touch of death from Trill. Really, really clutch plays that keep Golden Guardian in it. They're consistent setups. The hexes from Absurge, very, very key in order for them to survive.
Yeah, I like that point with the hexes. Absurge is playing that Voodoo Mastery, which means his hex doesn't have a cooldown, so he's just basically a mage spamming poly the whole game. And it was very effective. It's what got them the kill. It's what allows them to secure a lot of these mind games as well. So, and I mean, you can see it here. He's just spamming Hex there onto Sea-Doo's trinket. Sea-Doo does sacrifice it right there. He gets silenced on it. WizK almost going down here from the damage. Peekaboo here activating his Vendetta, and this is their kind of go time. Trill taking basically unhealable damage. There's the setup from Mez. Snowball coming in. Peekaboo cloaks it. Sea-Doo trades out his Divine Shield, and look at his Hex out of the Divine Shield right there. Absurge snipes it. Kidney shot is secured, and at this point, there's nothing he can do. Trill or Peekaboo also vanishing for the sheep shot there onto Trill, so he can't port away just to keep him in place a little bit longer. So, yeah. Pretty solid stuff here from the Golden Guardians.
Yeah, very solid. Now tied up here in this best of 5 series. It's now 1-1, so we're seeing it go back and forth so far. So I wonder if we do continue in that pattern and see an OTK win for this next game, because it is going to be their map choice. Golden Guardians has some blind lock in that comp, but I think, Ben, it was you that said we are likely to see that same matchup throughout the rest of the series.
I think based off what we just saw, where OT kicked in Windwalker Death Knight blind and Golden Guardians locked in the RPS, into that composition. I think that it just means that these two teams, they're comfortable going back and forth. And it does seem like one of those matchups where either side could win. It's just going to come down to those clutch little plays that both these teams are making, and whoever can make those plays better, or, basically use their defensive cooldowns better, use their offensive cooldowns better, take advantage of the little situations that present themselves, like that full block peekaboo onto Trill. Little things like that are going to determine the outcome of the series, and I think that's what makes it so exciting every single time we see these two teams meet.
Yeah, you really never know what you're going to get when you do see them compete against each other, so it's kind of fitting that we're seeing them face off against each other in the circuit on the very final day. This is the last time we're going to see either of these two teams in the circuit before the North American finals. I feel like Supatees, every time we get Golden Guardians in competition, the question is always like, when are we going to see Jelly Beans? When are we going to see Jelly play? And we know that when he does come out, he has come out a few times this season, but really not a lot. Why in this situation would we not be seeing him, or be seeing him if they do decide to bring him?
I think they're worried about his pets just getting cleaved down. There's a ton of AoE damage from Windwalker Death Knight that a hunter's going to have to deal with. Particularly Jellybeans' role in the team so far in the circuit has been to be kind of an anti-mage with the Shadow Priest Hunter, and OTK can play mage. So maybe if we see a situation where OTK switch to Windwalker Mage at some point, which I think is unlikely, Golden Guardians will then switch Jellybeans in. But with this current matchup, it seems like their best odds are going to be relying on that Shadow Priest Rogue Shaman. And then maybe for the finals, we see Jellybeans working on some alts. I know in the past he's had Jelly Ellie. I feel like we saw Jelly Ellie at a BlizzCon one year, and everyone was like, what is happening? I think they played like Thunder. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember what year that was. They played, it might have been the year they had that really deep run. Was that 2016? It's a long time ago. But I know Jellybeans is capable of playing more than just a hunter. And that's what I would really like to see from the Golden Guardians moving into the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I
it almost feels...
Supatees,
Go ahead.
I think Supatees just really like saying Jelly Ellie, and it is fun to say.
Is that what the tune is actually named, or like on his account?
He's Jelly Ellie.
So, yeah.
Jelly Ellie.
That's clever. Oh, man.
Makes sense.
I mean, does that feel like, either of these teams, like, what we would have to see them do, maybe Golden Guardians especially, like, we don't really see the utilization of their fourth player that often. We don't really see Sam too much. We don't really see Jellybeans too much either, Zico. Do you expect them to try and utilize them a little bit more for the North American finals to get that competitive edge, or are we going to see them maybe perfect the comps that we're already seeing them bring out, do you think?
Do I expect it? Would I like to see it? Yes. Do I expect it? I would say in the case of Golden Guardians, no way. In the case of OTK, yeah, probably. I could see them investing more time with Sam and getting, in shape because he is a world-class mage. So if they can, they should definitely try to implement him. But for Golden Guardians, I actually think that the person that needs to multi-class a little bit more is Peekaboo. I don't think it's Jellybeans. Well, maybe if Jellybeans picks something more up, but for Jellybeans, if he plays like Warrior and Hunter, I think Jellybeans is like doing more than enough. But for Peekaboo, it's so interesting because he can play a Feral Druid, and I feel like he would be pretty good at it, It's like, it's not that different from Rogue. You have the combo points. It's, about stealthing and reopening and hitting and running and stuff. So it's fairly similar. It's, a little bit different, but I feel like that's something that he would potentially be really good at. And Jellybeans, well, he's a hunter, so that gives you jungle right there. That would be a big comp for them to pick up. WizK has already played everything. We've seen him on DK, Feral. We've seen him on everything.
Mage.
Yeah, exactly. For WizK, I would like to see him just stay on the Wizards, keep playing that Mage, keep playing that Shadow Priest. I think we've seen him on Warlock as well in BFA. So him just being like a Wizard expert, Peekaboo being kind of a melee expert, and Jellybeans being the X Factor, I think that would be good. But I don't think it's ever going to happen because the Golden Guardians, they're more about teamwork and friendship, I think, than all the other stuff.
I feel like that's why they're so, loved. They've been together as a team for so long, and it's like, regardless of the results that they're getting, we've seen them have seasons where they don't do well at all, and we're seeing them have seasons where they do tremendously well. And even when they weren't able to use Jellybeans at all, like, we didn't really see him since Legion before, like when we saw him in the Cup. So it's been a long time since they've even been able to utilize Jelly Beans, and yet these guys are still, they're tried and true. They're the move. They're such good friends, and we see that. I feel like we see that like fun and friendship come out
Exactly.
just all over when we think of this team, Golden Guardians. Is like, regardless of the results they're getting, they still have that. They still have the fans. They still have fun in these tournaments. But now they're having this incredible circuit season where they're finally getting amazing results once again, and now they're in top 4 going into North America. So Golden Guardians definitely a fan favorite, but of course, I mean, then you have OTK on the other side. So I would argue that these are like some of the most loved teams in the AWC right now.
I feel like Golden Guardians is like a very emotional roller coaster when you're a fan of the Golden Guardians.
Yeah.
In some cases, it's like, it's both like exciting and exhilarating, and then borderline abusive a little bit too, where they're just like dragging it to the absolute last second. Got you guys the edge to see, like, are they going to do it? Are they going to win for us? Are they going to win for us? And then they pull it off right at the last moment, and they just keep you clinged on just as long as possible. And I mean, I'm sure that doing that on purpose. It's just funny that it always ends up being like that. So yeah, this series could be the same type of nail biter. I mean, easily.
Yeah. Definitely a very loyal fan base in this series, no matter what side you're on, I think. Which is always
absolutely.
It's always great to see. But I mean, it's all going to come down to a head right here. These two teams, like we've discussed so much, are very, very evenly matched in terms of seedings, in terms of the record right now, in terms of, I mean, I'd love to get the stats on like their actual head-to-head in the Shadowlands season, but I mean, very, very close. So we're going to see if we do end up going into a game 5, but determine the next game winner here of game number 3 is going to determine the team that finds themselves on match point, and then it's only one victory away from there to win this series. It's Hook Point, game number 3, OTK versus Golden Guardians.
Yeah, OTK going to be picking a small map so they can stay on target, and it's going to be easier for Trill to just always be within his Transcendence range, because it's such a huge part of his survivability. If he can get out of a stun, while Seedu's in crowd control, he can just Transcendence away, whereas on DALARAN Sewers, they're constantly trying to just drag him away from that point. Becomes really unstable for OTK. Golden Guardians looking to strike back in this series. They tied it up. Can they take away the swing match from OTK? If they could win this game, it would be devastating for OTK, but this has been one of the closest series we've seen today, if not so far in this round robin. So either one of these teams really could take it.
Yeah, and we're going to see here, beautiful opener immediately onto Trill, big damage coming out there. Seedu getting sapped, actually forced to trade out his Blessing of Protection. Oh, actually for the blind there, so pretty good trade there. Seedu maintaining his cool, and Trill also maintaining his cool there, not trading out any trinkets or anything like that. No real defensives aside from that diffuse magic, which is really big. And here comes Mazdo with the grips here, trying to group everybody together. But Trill again in a kidney shot here. Beautiful damage, that's going to be the trinket touch of Karma. Might not be enough here. Seedu might have to trade out the sacrifice as well. Big damage coming out from Peekaboo here, but 3 feints to stun. Nobody is trading right there. It's going to be WizK trading out his trinket, running away with the chill streak, still dropping dangerously low though. That's going to be Hamsters trading out his Ascendance as well as WizK's Fate, Vampiric Embrace. Trill now on the run here. The next kidney shots are going to be very, very dangerous for him. And there it is, full kidney shot. Can he get something onto Seedu? There's a sheep shot. Hamsters can't find the hex, but Seedu's still forced to trinket and trade out the sacrifice. And the Golden Guardians, I mean, they are just 1 or 2 setups away from potentially winning this game.
Let's see if they can keep it together here long enough to pull it off, take the swing match. They're so close to victory. They've got momentum. Seedu is struggling to keep Trill even above half health here. They grip Peekaboo behind the pillar with the Ring of Peace. Beautiful bounce back, but now Trill in the stun. They need crowd control on Seedu. They're going to silence Seedu. They're pushing for the win here in game 2. Seedu Divine Shields. He's bombing out big flash of lights to try and get Trill back in the fight. Mez lands a double dragon, peeling the team off of Trill for a moment, but now Seedu is stunned up. Trill is on the run to get away from Peekaboo. Seedu is chasing after him. Peekaboo sprints in. A hex onto... Man, these hexes from Absterge have been game-breaking, but Trill denies it and ports way far away from Peekaboo. Peekaboo gets gripped by WizK. Right back to Trill. He's running laps around the pillar to try and get there. Lava burst coming in from Absterge. Absterge is not afraid to get aggressive, and here's the smoke bomb. But Trill pre-diffused it, reducing so much damage in that smoke bomb. That was probably the end of the game if he didn't do that.
Whoa!
Whoa! Big obliterates, forcing out WizK into that dispersion immediately. That was not the Serenity, and now WizK's in a lot of trouble. Trill, he's got a lot of damage available. He's going to use it. What is WizK going to do? An immediate fade, but after fade, there's nothing. There's nothing left here for WizK but a kidney shot on the Trill. Could close out. He's just so low. He trades out the karma. Big Divine Toll tops him off. And now OTK looking to close it out. The Spear Link Totem gets killed off instantaneously. A blind onto Trill gets Blessing and Protection off as they know they have WizK on the ropes.
Beautiful bop there on the blind. The next kidney is going to be full though. Can they hang on for a little bit longer here? Whiskey spamming out the Shadowlands. Hamsters does try to get the Hex. There's a kidney shot. There's the Mind Games. Sea-Doo does not get purged there. Only Divine Favor. Trill dropping dangerously low. Sea-Doo's going to have an answer for that next kidney shot with his sacrifice. It looks like maybe the Golden Guardians are running out of time here. 2 seconds left. They need to get the sacrifice now. Trill dropping super low here. There's the Fleshcraft. There's the Blinding Sleep. Pre-Fleshcraft. Then Whiskey now going to trinket out of that setup. The Trill gets hexed on his Turbo Fist right there. Peekaboo setting up for the next kidney shot. Whiskey might just fall here. He's running for his life. There's a gnome goblin race trying to run away. He gets the fade. He gets the double fear. Whiskey with the hero play forces out the trinket. City gets hexed on it, and it's anybody's game here. Sid.
Vendetta is rolling. Mez turns the tables, turns the tides with the triple dragon. Who's going to fall first, Trill or WizK? It's so close at this point, but Sea-Doo has 0 mana remaining in the tank, and I'm not sure as this Avenging Wrath subsides if he's going to be able to keep this up. Hamsters is in a stun by Sea-Doo. Trill's in a mind control. Mez is going to interrupt the mind control now. Hamsters in a blinding light. WizK has nothing. WizK's in. There's no way. This is Serenity. This is the biggest damn OTK can do, and there's nothing to block it. OTK move to match point.
What a ridiculous game coming in from both these teams. OTK, they managed to hold on. Beautiful plays by both Trill and WizK in order to survive for that long. But at the end of it all, it's the Serenity, it's the Zwen. It's way too much damage for Hamsters to handle with no cooldowns. And at that point, Golden Guardians, they had just run out of time.
That was just incredible. I really thought Golden Guardians, they had Trill on the ropes the entirety of the match, and you know, Trill though just able to port away Kite, you know, even with the defensive life grip or the offensive life grip onto Peekaboo, trying to get him to connect. He just wasn't able to do it, and I mean, Sea-Doo as well was completely tapped on mana here in this situation as well. So definitely a super close game, and I mean, I think they're both just going to lock in the same thing over and over again, and it's going to come down to that. If Hamsters can get those hexes, if they can get the kidney shots in time, and they're going to be able to potentially win the game from that. And I mean, for WizK as well, I got to call it out. When he did that Goblin rocket jump into Double Fear and almost set up for the game there, they got the trinket. Like, WizK was literally dead on 10% HP. And he had no cooldowns. He needed to stall a couple of seconds for his fade, and just Goblin jumped away, got the Double Fear, got the fade, recovered, set up an offensive push. They got the trinket. Man, this guy is so good on Shadow Priest.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely insane, but that is going to be OTK's victory. 2-1 right now. Let's check out that replay.
We're going to see it here. No, I don't think. Is this when we see the Goblin jump? I actually think it is, yeah. So there's a lot of pressure here onto Trill. They go for that mind control here onto Trill. He gets interrupted by Mez. And here they get a full blind onto Absturge. Here, look at WizK here, right? No, never mind.
Nope.
Yeah, this is
not the right time. Up for it.
Close the replay. Close the replay.
Close the replay. Throws commercial.
That's too much. I kind of wonder, you know, we joked about it, but I wonder if Mez actually saved the day with his Draenei racial. It's possible, right? With how many close calls there was?
100%. Like, that just counters Vendetta.
Counters Vendetta.
Oh my god.
Counters Vendetta. Not this again, dude.
It's like a renew. Like,
you never know. I mean, it's working for them. Didn't it work out in the last series? The last time we saw them? Kind of.
Yeah. Draenei is the move. Like, Draenei is the best race. What do you mean? That's why he's playing it. Like, why else would Mez still be playing Draenei?
Draenei's not the move. It's OTK that's playing that.
Yeah, that's you're getting your teams mixed up, Sid.
Wait, I said Draenei. Oh, okay. I see what you did. Okay, I'm not that tired. I see what you did.
Okay, well, either
maybe
way,
they should if it is the move. Maybe we should see Draenei on the Golden Guardian side.
I don't know, that Goblin's jump looked pretty sweet though.
Okay, true.
All right.
I
Well,
wanna
if
see-
you want to, if you want to check out those racials that they are using, awc.gcd.tv, or check out the description down below. You can see what these guys are running. Go ahead, Zico.
I want to see triple goblin, to be honest. Like, imagine you get gripped and then you goblin away before the blinding sleet. You just shut down the setup immediately.
True.
You can go. You can get the offensive kidney shot. You can set up the fears. Like
Wait.
even Hamsters, like he can just goblin jump and drop a spirit link totem, like a drive-by link. I like it.
Goblin counters Serenity. You can just goblin jump away.
Yeah, I don't know what that. I think
might
we'd
be
be better off
joking.
with playing Draenei.
They did not pick this. I mean, it makes sense that they picked this. It's not for me. This time it's not for me. It feels bad. This one is just
It's always for
logical.
you, Sid.
This one is for Trill.
Is it always for me? How do
I
we
think
always
so,
end up
yeah.
on match point with Runes of Lordaeron?
I don't know.
It feels like it's
It's a fitting
happening
map.
way more often
Stars are
than not.
aligning for you today.
It's a fitting map.
This is my day.
Yeah, it's a very fitting map for reasons. Oh man. Okay, Runes of Lordaeron, as we've already mentioned, locked in here by Golden Guardians, and we
Oh.
we're seeing a switch up. All
you go.
right.
They want to
Well-
kill Trill.
Uh,
This is a new movie called Kill Trill. Let's see how he does.
Oh my god.
Jelly Beans just looking for revenge.
Jelly Beans comes off the bench looking for revenge.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Okay, well,
yeah.
This is
Go
a
ahead, Ben.
scary composition. This is a really, really scary composition. The Unbound Freedom from the Retribution Paladin. OTK is not going to have a dispel for that. So, I mean, Trill, a lot of his survivability against this is his ability to kite, as we saw in that last game. But in this particular matchup, it's not going to be so easy, as WizK and Jellybeans are going to have Freedom running at him. Pets are going to be running at him. And I don't know, this is scary, especially the Blessing of Protection on Touch of Karma. Makes it a really volatile matchup for Trill.
Okay, Golden Guardian switching things up on match point. Bit of a risky move, though it has the potential to pay off here. WizK bringing in that Ret Paladin. We're seeing Jelly Beans come out once again, which is kind of funny since we were talking about. I feel like I'm striking out on predictions. Like, oh, we never see Jelly Beans. We're not going to see a 3-0.
Well-
And here we are getting proved wrong once again.
We actually have been seeing Jelly Beans. I was confused when y'all were talking about that. He literally was
Well-
playing yesterday as the reason they won the series. Like, I feel like
I
Jelly
meant
Beans has
more
actually
as
been...
like, for a while we hadn't seen Jelly Beans, but lately
Yes,
we have
that's
been
true.
seeing him, is what I
That's-
was trying to
that-
say. But
Yeah. Well, that's 100% true. But I feel like Jelly Beans making for the Golden Guardians, he's been extremely important for them to make it into the
Oh,
top
yeah.
4. I feel like without Jelly, they wouldn't have actually made it at all.
I feel
So
like we got like a vibe with Jelly Beans looking at us like, what are you talking about? I've been here the whole time.
yeah.
Yeah, that
What
picture.
you saying? What do you guys mean?
didn't he,
Uh,
I
I'm going to
swear,
win this series. I'm coming in.
I swear his Hunter stat was like a 2% win before or something like that.
It was
before
really tiny. I think
905 came in.
his warrior stat was better, but like the first time we saw him in Shadowlands, I think we had only seen him like once or twice since Legion, and it wasn't even on his Hunter. I'd have to get confirmation on that, but something wild. But here's WizK as well, 50% win rate on that Red Paladin, which she's bringing out today in this match.
Yeah, but that's 50% against some of the best teams in the game. You know, WizK, he was clutch yesterday. You know, I didn't really believe in the WizK rat, but after yesterday, I kind of started believing in it. And Hamsters as well on the Holy Priest. It's not something that we've seen before, but they've actually been polishing up their counter comping game a lot. So my biggest question is, why didn't they just lead with that? Like they could have just led with the Demon Hunter or the Demon Hunter, the BM Hunter, and just seen how it went, because it was pretty obvious what OTK was going to play. So I don't know. This could be a classic Golden Guardians as well, though, where like they play RPS, or usually they play something else and then they swap to RPS and then they own. But maybe it could be like a reverse Golden Guardians this time around.
Yeah, you never know. Bringing out a new comp when it really counts. They cannot lose this game or they lose this series. But here are Trill's rates as well here for Shadowlands. Again, we're just making these players look bad with these 0% stats. I mean, I don't know what the play rate for that is, but it surely hasn't been brought out that much in Shadowlands. One game.
He's 0 for 1.
It's confirmed?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
They only have one game with a Demon Hunter and they lost it, so that's it. It's mostly been Windwalker, but having a 100% play rate, which means so far in Shadowlands, we haven't seen Mez and Sam play together one time. Trill has been kind of the rock in terms of DPS for the roster, so yeah, he's been doing a good job. Ruins of LORDAERON, this is going to be a testing ground. Not much room to run away, not many pillars you can kind of run and hide to and kite around. Golden Guardians is going to be looking to train him down, and he's going to have to avoid the Rat Retribution Paladin as well as the Beast Mastery Hunter, and that is not going to be an easy thing to do.
Not easy, and also very scary situation to be on when when losing this series is on the line, but it is Ruins of LORDAERON OTK on match point, Supatees.
All right, let's see if they can close it out here. Double stun combo by the Golden Guardians, but they get Blinding Sleep by Mez. Mez grips in for a triple. Absterge fades and dodges the leg sweep. Nice fade by Absterge. Good trades. Trill's going to retreat away from the cooldowns of the Golden Guardians. Sea-Doo is charging in for crowd control. Hammers down onto Absterge. No Sanctuary. In position for Blinding Light. Blinding Light out, but Trill still isn't really comfortable. He's hiding in that anti-magic zone, trying to get onto the Hunter Jellybeans, but Jellybeans has popped Bestial Wrath. He's going to be doing a lot of damage to Trill here. Is Sea-Doo ready for it? Sea-Doo pre-sacrifices incoming crowd control. Stabilizing Trill, maybe not entirely. Jellybeans is looking unstable. Quite a volatile matchup here on match point.
Yeah, I mean, definitely big damage on Jelly, forced into the aspect of the turtle. Trill is playing really aggressive here, and I think he's able to, at this point, with Serenity and Swen, but once those fade, Golden Guardians should be able to swing the momentum in their favor. Jellybeans is having a really difficult time getting away, and you can't blame him. I mean, he's got Mez on that Frost Death Knight, throwing in the Chains of Ice, Heartstop Aura, Delirium, making it difficult for him to get away, and I feel like if Jellybeans can't get away in this match, it's going to be really scary for him to survive. A nice potential setup coming in. WizK with a preemptive Blessing of Protection on Jellybeans allows Jellybeans to escape without getting stunned. Really nicely done there by WizK.
Yeah, and now they need to get some pressure here onto Trill. Trill's having way too much uptime right now onto Jellybeans. That's going to be the golden, Guardian Angel right there coming out from Absterge. Now Trill mind controlled on low HP here. This could set up a stun situation here. They get a stun onto Trill right there. Hammer of Justice coming out, but they didn't have crowd control to Sea-Doo. Blessing are protected out of that intimidating stun.
Whoa!
DM Hunter Pat, but big damage here once again onto Jellybeans. There's going to be a big setup coming in now from Mez and Trill. They get the Paralyze onto Absterge. Do they have any follow-up? Doesn't look like Sea-Doo has the Hammer of Justice anytime soon, and they're still just keeping up onto Jellybeans, having good uptime here on that Hunter. Mez trying to pre-Fleshcraft here as well, and Trill now got him porting away here, running away. He's got his Serenity here for a big hit. Jellybeans has no human racial. He had to use it earlier when he used that aspect of the turtle. So here, this stun really gonna stick here. Absterge needs to pre-fade this one. He fades. Sea-Doo baits it out though. They didn't commit just yet, and they have an opportunity now to go for the CC. Sea-Doo as well though in a cross crowd control. Nice anti-magic zone by Mez, but it's gonna be enough. Sea-Doo comes out from the crowd control with his trinket here. He has a sacrifice as well. Beautiful CC.
Whoa,
Sea-Doo!
Sea-Doo!
He takes so much damage right there. Saberlight's gonna proc, and he is gonna be able to survive. But Trill now as well getting 1% HP. Sacrifice not gonna trade out. Just a touch of Karma. Incredible greed, but it pays off both.
Oh, that dragon was beautiful by Mez across the board here. Absterge has almost no mana left in the tank to keep this fight going. But OTK, they're running on fumes as well. Quite a slugfest between these Titans in North America. Can OTK pull it off 3-1 here? It would be a fitting final resting place as it is a cemetery. Golden Guardians look to dig the grave of Trill, but Sea-Doo defies death by Divine Shielding the crowd control and restabilizing the team. But that was one of his last crowd control breakers. His mana's looking slim. Jellybeans disengages away from the fight. They're waiting for their cooldowns. Here comes the Bestial Wrath. WizK's playing out of range of the stun. He doesn't want to get double leg swept. They use Ring of Peace. They grip in Absterge to get the double blind. Are they in range for a double leg sweep? They are, but Absterge is able to trinket and fade away, gripping Jellybeans from Mez. Trill looks to reconnect. WizK wants to get aggressive. They need crowd control on Sea-Doo and Trill at the same time. If they can land a stun on Sea-Doo and a stun on Trill, then they could win this. Trill's going to portal out of line of sight. Jellybeans is in pursuit, but Sea-Doo is trying to drink. Can they wrap around the corner and stop the drink? Sea-Doo scrapes scrape together a little bit of mana. Now Absterge is likely trying to sit down for a drink. He's going to get sniped. Jellybeans is so low, there's not much left for him here. He needs a big word of glory if he's going to stabilize, but he's caught in a stun. Big crowd control chain incoming from OTK. How much longer can Jellybeans stay afloat here? Whiskey bubbles to heal Jellybeans. Whiskey giving away his defensive cooldown to stabilize Jellybeans right in his time of need. Here comes the crowd control. The reversal from the Golden Guardians on match point. 1 second left on the chastise. Oh, but Trill trades out the karma. So dangerously low, trying to stay on target and finish the job here. They're going to grip in Absterge. Once again landing a dragon. Whiskey dodges the dragon, healing the team up. And Whiskey is expertly playing this Rep Paladin. He's not walking into any crowd control, but it may not matter. They are overwhelming Jellybeans. His aspect of the turtle just came off cooldown. He's going to immune this incoming attack. Now Whiskey the target. He's going to trade some defensives, try and heal up with the word of glory. Sea-Doo can't drink. What even is this game at this point? Both teams playing with nothing left.
Yeah, this is such a scary moment for both these teams. Whiskey has been trying. He's been trying to hold on, but at the same time, Trill is on the back foot. He's got to run away. Whiskey's all over him. Can Golden Guardians tie it up? Trill's in a lot of trouble, but he gets the full stun on Jellybeans. Can they drop him? A big heal comes in. Trill is the one that's low. Sea-Doo trades out the sacrifice. The last lance with the Divine totally stabilizes his team. But both these teams running on fumes, and really one good exchange could close it out. A beautiful mind control from Absterge, but Sea-Doo potentially trying to drink and get out of combat. Good job by Jellybeans, keeping him in combat, not allowing him to recover, but still Trill has quite a bit left on that touch of karma. He can just hold on another 15 seconds, then I feel like OTK might be okay, but they might not get that time. Trill's on the run.
Yeah, Trill, what are you going to do here? 5 seconds left on that trap, onto Sea-Doo, spamming out the Vivifies, but the pets have full uptime here from Jellybeans. Jellybeans also, though, with no cooldowns left. He's got the Exhilaration heal, no Guardian here for 20 seconds. Absterge gets interrupted. Jellybeans now on the run. It's been Whiskey, the hero of this game so far, keeping Jellybeans in the fight. Mind Control comes out onto Trill. Trill dropping initially low. He has a touch of karma. He calls in the Zwan. Nice knock trap there from Jellybeans with the freedom, building up the distance between him and Trill. He needs to pressure Trill here. He needs to force him to use that touch of karma. He's going to kite back into Trill. There's a Hammer jump on the Trill. Trill gets out. Triple Dragon comes out. There's the Serenity. There's the touch of karma. Jellybeans on the run here. Hamsters trades out the Guardian Angel. Stuns up Trill. Fears up Trill. Mind controls up Trill. Full trap onto Sea-Doo. No way out. Nothing really for Trill here. Even when he comes out, Sea-Doo just coming out of the trap, sitting down for a quick sip right there. The Jellybean shuts it down. And this is the point in the game where you start pressuring Mez if you are the Golden Guardians. Hamsters trying to get some mana, but not able to. And once again, Mez here in a 1 versus 3 here while his team's hovering behind the pillar. This is still anybody's game. Blessing of protection coming out though onto Jellybeans here, and I am super worried for both Absterge and for Trill here, Sid.
Oh, they're going to survive. Trill gets blown up. Huge damage onto Trill. Will they be able to go to a game number 5? They defy death for a few moments, but mind control and low health now. Jellybeans in trouble. Whiskey picks him up with a word of glory. Trill is on 30%. Jellybeans is trying to get distance and take down Trill with his pets, but he portals behind the pillar. Jellybeans is in pursuit, interrupting the heal. Sea-Doo gets to his side. Can Sea-Doo pick him up? He sacrifices, redirecting damage to himself. Jellybeans switches back over to Mez. Whiskey's waddling his way to Mez to try and slap him with a big Templar's verdict. Can he get there in time? The Chains of Ice is big. Grip behind the pillar. They're trying to punish Whiskey by line of sighting his healer Absterge with this Hammer of Justice. It looks like he's holding on to dear life at the moment. Absterge coming out of the blinding light with a sliver of mana. It's unbelievable this game is even still going on for the better part of 3 minutes at this point. Both healers have been out of mana. Absterge channeling a Divine Hymn, trying to maximize his healing efficiency, going for symbols, getting a little bit of mana back as well. But Trill has karma again. How on earth does Trill have karma again here? He's going to need to trade it out before getting stunned. Sea-Doo's trying to sit down for a drink. Sea-Doo's getting time bait mad, but there's the freezy trap. Here comes the stun. Trill, are you going to be done here? He trades karma. He pops out Zwen. He's just trying to go for the kill, go for the Hail Mary. Will he regret it here as he's pushing down Jellybeans? He's taking a ton of damage in return. Whiskey's trying to dodge the leg sweep. He's playing max range away from Trill at this point. Sea-Doo is charging down Absterge, but now Absterge is in the fight. He's going to Psychic Scream the DPS. They're desperate. There's no mana left for him. Jellybeans disengages with freedom, trying to avoid death. His aspect of the turtle is available again. Jellybean scraping by, and now Trill runs away behind the tombstone, knowing he's going to be in trouble. Buying time for Sea-Doo to recover. Both teams are going to get maybe a moment to sort of pause. Sea-Doo's charging in. Hammers down onto Absterge. Absterge trinkets out. Jellybeans with no defense left. A bit of an overlap, actually. The Sanctuary of Whiskey and the Trinket of Absterge. A big mistake, potentially. Jellybeans down at 30%, but he's just trying to take out Trill. Sea-Doo has to bubble. He's somehow healing Trill with no mana. How are they still going?
I have no idea. Touch of Karma, can it rotate back up? Jellybeans might get
Guardian
dropped!
Angel!
He's so low! Guardian Angel procs, Jellybean still in touch of death range. Trill trying to take him down in defiance, and he does! Golden Guardians, they fall this game. OTK, they take the series, potentially, we'll see. Trill has to hold on. This is a really tense moment. Can Trill survive? I think with the anti-magic zone, there's no way we see Trill fall. Sea-Doo doesn't have much mana, but he does have the sacrifice. Touch of Karma is almost available. I think OTK did it. You can see how happy Sea-Doo is to take that game. And that was such an important series for their team. And I mean, that was the closest series we've seen in quite some time.
Unbelievable, man. Sea-Doo is super happy there. Very good job, of course, by OTK, and that's gonna put them in third place officially. You know, from not even being sure if they're gonna qualify to grabbing that third place. Not a bad day for OTK and for the Golden Guardians. Of course, they are also gonna qualify, but the Golden Guardians, they were so